Welcome to the Pretty and Profiting Show, your favorite show for branding, beauty, business, and the truth of how to be a boss lady and build your empire. Pause the show right now and grab your free gift at profitablepersonalbrand.com/hot. It's a workbook and audio training on 5 high-performing strategies to dominate your market and add an extra $1,000 to $10,000 to your bottom line. And now, your host. She's a fierce, creative freaking genius who is known by many as Nikki Hustle. Nicole K. Lundy.
It's your girl, Nicole K. Lundy here for another episode. I'm bringing the heat on the Pretty and Profiting Show. So today's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about the layers in your brand cake. So I thought it would be cool. I thought it would be clever if I built this picture for you to make it simpler in understanding the different parts, the different ingredients that make up your brand. Because objectively, when I look at the scene out there, there's a lot of people talking about branding. One, I feel a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon because it's a new hot topic, a new hot word, new trend, whatever you want to call it. And then there's some people who do an aspect of branding. So that would be an example, like your graphic designer that does your logo. Then there's somebody else who does your website. Then somebody who does your brochure. I guess that's still under graphic designer, huh? So your visual vocabulary. So your copywriter would help you put the words out there. All of those people do branding, but they do different aspects of it. So today I want to talk to you about the layers in your brand cake so you could kind of get an idea of the entire picture. So let's first talk about your brand foundation. So we have to get clear in your foundation. We're talking about the flour and eggs now, your vision, your mission, the plan for your company itself, how you want it to look in the world, how you want it to grow, what do you want it to look like? The mission is the transformation you want your company to provide through its products and or services. And then so flour, eggs, and sugar. The sugar is your brand values. This is what your brand stands for. It's what you as the CEO, you as the founder or co-founder, this is what you believe in. This is you getting really clear on what your company will do, what it won't do, and really at large, what you stand for internally and externally. This is where everything else comes into play. You have to know this and be clear on it and be ready to go to market with it. So flour, eggs, sugar, your brand vision, your brand mission, and your brand values. So let's talk about the flavors because there's different flavors. So brand identity. So this is all of the visual branding elements. It's not visibility. I'm not talking about speaking social media, really getting your brand out there. I'm talking about how your brand looks. It's like the face of your makeup. So whether it's a strawberry cake or a chocolate cake or a lemon meringue cake, I guess that's a lemon meringue pie. Anyway, you get the point. So let's talk about logo. Your logo, there's a lot of people that do online identities or graphic design. They call themselves different things nowadays, but this is all part of what comes after the foundation is in place, after your flour, sugar, and eggs are in place. So your collateral, your website, your content, your tagline, your elevator speech, your just if you do visuals, like anything, that's the flavor of your cake. Next comes the marketing, your brand marketing plan. So this, I would say, what do I call this? This is the filling of the cake. So it's not the icing, it's the filler, that secret filler that gets you by surprise, and it's oh so delicious. So it's how you advertise your company whether you do trade shows, speaking, online ads, PR, any type of outreach that gets your brand in front of people. I like to call it visibility strategy because it's so necessary for you to be visible in business. Invisibility doesn't work at all. So it's that filling. Once you have the foundation, once you have the other flavors, your logo, your look, all of that stuff, then you really need to hammer in your brand marketing. Very important piece of your brand cake. So let's talk about brand experience, because this is really the icing on the cake. When people experience your brand, whether they're a client, whether they're a prospect, whether they're not even in your target audience, the experience of your brand is imperative. You must pay attention to this. You must deliberately and intentionally be committed to creating a brand experience that reflects everything that you're about. So go back to the flour, sugar, and eggs. Your vision, your mission, your values, your brand experience. People won't even get that far on the foundation of your brand cake if your brand experience sucks. So returning calls, how you set up new clients, how you set up time for people to learn more about you, how you show up for interviews, how you show up at networking events. I can't stress how painful it is to see brilliant entrepreneurs at events where their ideal client is there, where the most ideal business partners are there. The room is full of opportunities and they're in shorts and sneakers because it's in sunny Florida or sunny Arizona. So they thought it was a vacation and dressed like they were going ziplining, and people do not take them seriously. Listen, your brand experience must be offline and online, and it must be congruent. It must be uniformed. It must be continuous. You cannot shock people, because people will love you, love on you, want to work with you. And when they see you, they're like, hold up. Let me take that back. It's just too shocking for them. So let's review the layers. Brand vision, your brand's mission, your brand's values, your brand identity, including your logo, your collaterals, which includes your business cards, letterheads, envelopes, so on, brochures, postcards, flyers, your website, your content, your marketing copy, your tagline. And then the brand marketing piece of it, advertising, PR, podcast shows. I mean, there's so many ways to market yourself. You can find one that completely aligns with your personality. So now that's all part of your brand cake, but let's not forget, let's talk about brand experience. Brand experience is so important. So important. It's the icing on the cake. It's how people experience you, whether they're a hot prospect or whether they're far left from your target audience. People need to have a great experience and get the authentic version of you. So even if they're not a prospect, they need to if they talk about you, you do not want them to dog you out. Now, I know there's a lot of instances where that's going to happen anyway. That's fine. But you want them to dog you out with you being authentic, with you providing the best experience of being in your presence as possible. It's like people coming over for a dinner party or for the holidays. You clean your house a little extra good. It's like that. So when people come into your space, be welcoming, have a glass of champagne ready to welcome them. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Join the Pretty and Profiting Posse if you are a real deal women entrepreneur creating wealth and making a global impact with your business. Represent yourself. Head on over to prettyandprofiting.com and get your merchandise. Profit in style. So we're back, and today we're talking about the layers of your brand cake. And now I want to talk about strategies that you must work on once you have your cake in the oven. So, and one is positioning. How do you want to be positioned in the market? This is the R&D part, market research part that you can't avoid, and you should also make regular time to keep a pulse on the market and what other people are doing in your space of expertise. So you want to be clear on your brand position and how do you compare to other people in your space. You want to objectively get real honest reviews on your brand promise, your brand values. See if other people are getting what you want them to get. Listen, I talk about the best F word in business. Make sure you listen to that episode if you haven't, but it's feedback, and it's critical. Like, I can't even stress it enough. It's so critical. So you want to get external reviews of your brand experience, promise, values, how you deliver your products and services. Get real deal feedback and implement those feedbacks. The last thing is that creating a brand, building a brand is not a one-time thing. It's not something you do once or twice a year. It's an ongoing process. It never stops. If you are in business, you are always building your brand. So you want to always have a pulse and make sure everything that your brand does, whether it's marketing, whether it's a product or service, whether it's an event you are participating in, that it aligns with your brand, the mission, value, and purpose. And then you also want to have a brand management plan so that everything that's in the blueprint to be done has time carved out. It has a person delegated to making it happen, and then it happens consistently. Because the worst thing you want to do is fall off the map and then reappear like, hey, remember me? Could you buy this from me? No, it's not going to work. When it's time to go on a sales campaign, the effort of building your brand becomes very paramount at that time, and you can't do it at the same time. For people to immediately pull out their credit cards, it all ties back to your brand. So that's your brand cake right there. Make sure your cake is not, coming out gummy. Make sure it's rising. Make sure it's beautiful. Make sure it's fluffy and moist. No excuses, people. This is Nicole K. Lundy, your host. It's the Pretty and Profiting Show. I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Pretty and Profiting. Want to learn more about me and what I do? Head on over to profitablepersonalbrand.com. Also, I have a super juicy giveaway for one lucky show subscriber. If you want to enter, you just have to do 2 simple things. 1, subscribe to the show. 2, leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher, and you'll be entered into this month's $25 Sephora gift card giveaway. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, stay pretty and stack those profits.